Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a 41mm stainless steel 2015 model year limited edition of 7,007 pieces. This is the Omega Seamaster 300 Spectre Limited Edition. Based on the Seamaster 300 that debuted 1 year prior, this watch has many exclusive styling features, but it is technically identical to the standard Seamaster 300. It is also dimensionally identical. At 41 millimeters in diameter, the watch measures 14.8 millimeters thick and 48 millimeters lug-to-lug. If you include the solid end links to the bracelet, then it's a broader 52.5 millimeters across the wrist with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. This James Bond-inspired Seamaster sits easily on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. There's your over-the-top shot. There's your cuff shot, so it will actually fit underneath quite a few sleeves. And then we'll pull my sleeve back and we'll do the down the barrel shot where you can see the lug-to-lug span is broad, but the case itself is fairly compact. So I could recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Taking a quick look at the hardware, not a whole lot changes. You do have one distinct feature, which is the 007 logo external to the clasp, but the rest is orthodox Seamaster 300. Taking a quick look, you can see it's a 3-link design with satin tops, staggered link size and alignment, polished outer faces. Take note there is a half link built in. Removable links are fixed by screws, and there are half links on each side with a 9.6 millimeter incremental push button slider internal that can be used as a dive extension or just for tuning the fit. The clasp itself is machined from the solid and very robust. The swing arms likewise machine, and they close with authority. The twin trigger releases feel solid, secure, and ensure that the clasp can't accidentally pop open. Taking a look at the case, the Seamaster 300 is the most resolutely vintage in appeal of all the Seamaster models, whereas Omega sort of dipped a toe into vintage style with the Planet Oceans in 2005. By 2014, Omega was ready to basically let rip with a full-blown vintage-inspired Seamaster, and this watch was designed to channel the look of the late 50s and early 60s pioneering Seamaster dive watches, which is why you have a relatively thin case band, squared off lug ends, minimal beveling. There's polish on the lug hoods and the beveling, but the beveling is minimal compared to the lyre style cases. You can also see there's a large crown with no crown guard. Where this watch starts to deviate from the standard Seamaster 300 available today is the bezel, which features a ceramic insert, but you'll note it's calibrated 0 to 11 and it's bidirectional rotating, which is a little bit true to history. The original Seamaster 300 did not have unidirectional bezels. But as we move inboard, you can see other examples of styling features that are unique to the Spectre. There's a large Omega logo up at 12 o'clock. The marquee, the logo, and the watch name replace the Arabic numeral 12 that you'd find on the standard watch's dial. You'll also note the use of an historically inspired lollipop seconds hand that is not standard equipment on the basic Seamaster 300. The watch has almost a sandwich dial construction with a sort of Photine lume that's sunken into recesses on a matte dial base. So it's got a little bit of an air of Panerai to it, though the shape of the indices and the hands true to vintage Omega Seamaster 300s. Flip the watch over, and you can see there is individual numbering on the reverse side with the James Bond logo integrated into the millissimation. You can also see twin mainspring barrels, a 60-hour power reserve, anti-magnetic to over 15,000 Gauss. It's basically an amagnetic watch. 300 meters water resistant. You can see it is the Spectre edition. And the 60-hour power reserve driven by a bidirectional winding rotor. This is caliber 8400. It has a full balance bridge with a free spring index for shock resistance, the tri-level coaxial escapement for precision, increased power reserve, and reduced maintenance requirements. All of this pivots on 38 joules and beats away at 25,200 vibrations per hour. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer and thus very accurate, and the screw-down crown enables 2 subsidiary setting modes, one of which is an intermediate mode that allows the watch to keep ticking, and you can move the hour hand locally. And this is great for traveling, but then pull the crown out all the way and you hack the seconds, you stop, and the watch is halted so you can set it to the second against a reference timer. I should also mention that the crown is one of the most solid I've ever experienced when withdrawn. That's where a lot of burly divers betray cost cutting. With this watch, the crown feels rock solid, whether it's screwed down or pulled to extremity. Very impressive. This is a watch that offers a ton of value, as well as a fascinating link to a well-regarded product placement series. Let's be honest, James Bond didn't wear that Omega Seamaster by accident. But then again, do you really care? It's the romance of the name, and, more substantively, the qualitative merits of the product, and this is beyond reproach. Heck, it's a heck of a lot more interesting than a 2020 sub and scarcer. Reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we're back with the Seamaster Spectre, and you can see that lollipop seconds hand in its journey around the dial.